This is Cruise Radio.
Cruise Radio is brought to you in part by tripinsurance.com. Travel insurance done right by the people who know travel insurance. Get a quote today at tripinsurance.com.
Broadcasting from the tripinsurance.com studios in Jacksonville, Florida.
This is
Cruise Radio.
Madison sailed on the brand new Norwegian Aqua. It went from New York City down to Bermuda, and she joins us to chat about it. Madison, great to talk to you again.
You too, Doug. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, so let's unpack this. You took that 7-nighter. What made you want to jump on Norwegian Aqua out of Manhattan?
So when they announced Aqua, I went on right away and was like, I'm going to go on the ship. I love the Prima. We didn't even know what it looked like. So I just booked it just because it was like a really good price too. And I knew it was going to go up from there. So I booked that. And then my family was like, well, we want to go too, because it's Nick's birthday, my husband. It was his 32nd birthday on the middle of the week. It was Wednesday. So I was like, yeah, everybody come. So we ended up having 7 people actually on the ship. My mom, my dad, my brother, my grandparents, and then my husband and me. So we made it a whole big family event. And I had to plan the whole thing, but it was fine because it was so much fun.
That is awesome. You're pretty close. You're in Pennsylvania. So getting into the city, is that like a pre-cruise stay for you or a day of?
So we did a pre-cruise stay. My grandparents live it's right near like Parsippany. It's called Booton. So it's 45 minutes away from the port. So it was actually cheaper because Manhattan's prices are crazy for parking your car. I scheduled a limo shuttle to come pick us up from their house. We put all the luggage in there, had a little celebration before, and then got all the way up to Manhattan, and he dropped us off right at Pier 88.
Nice. Yeah, it's insane, those rates. I was talking about it on the show last week where it was, I think like $549 for like a crappy travel lodge in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm staying outside of the city before this next cruise here. But anyway, very nice. So you make your way to Pier 88. Now, I know embarkation can be hit or miss right there in Manhattan. How was it for you, and how long did it take from the curb to the ship?
So we ended up only because, backstory, Aqua for some reason was having a glitch where you couldn't make reservations for dining and reservations for the shows. So they said that it would be resolved in October. Well, we're in September. So I'm like, we got to get there early because we have 7 people. I want to get, the specialty restaurants that we want and the entertainment restaurant or entertainment reservations. So I booked a 9:30 and we waited probably an hour, which wasn't bad actually, before we went on the ship, just because I wanted to get the reservations and stuff booked. My grandparents are older, they don't know what to do. So I had to coordinate that and make sure that we were there early. But an hour wasn't bad. And since I'm Sapphire and everybody else was Platinum, they had a special area for us to wait in, and then we were let on the ship first to get on and make those reservations.
Now, since you've sailed the Prima-plus before, the atrium is a little bit different on this one. So what were your first impressions of Norwegian Aqua when you boarded?
It was really pretty. Kind of the same, but different in the way that the casino comes out further. The Penrose bar is bigger and I don't know, the way that it was shaped was better. And then we just went right to Hazuki to go make those reservations because there was already a line that had started. So I got to look at it quick and then we ran.
What did you think about the atrium layout? Like, they moved the whiskey bar to the back of the ship on this one. Did you feel like it had a more of an open feel than the other ones?
Yeah, and I didn't feel like we missed anything because on the Prima ship, we didn't even know where the whiskey bar was at one point, and we didn't know where the Belvedere bar was, but they kind of opened it up more so that you could hear some of the music upstairs and go wander up there. That may have been just because I knew where they were too, but the Belvedere bar was moved up to where the whiskey bar was, so we wanted to go see that. And the whiskey bar, we ended up having our first drinks there, and it was a lot bigger. Everything was bigger, like they said it was, like the 10% expansion. So it definitely felt more open than the Prima class.
What kind of stateroom did you book, and what did you think of it throughout your cruise?
So we did a balcony. I wanted to have, the port, I guess. Did we stay on the port side? Yeah, we stayed on the port side because I wanted to see that area underneath. And since we were in Bermuda for 3 days, we had a view, which was great. So we had the balcony. It was really big. My parents, or I guess my dad, has never been on a Prima-plus, and neither is my husband or my grandparents. And they said the room was huge compared to any other Norwegian ship that they had been on. And it was really clean, cut. Bathroom was great, big, and I liked the shower. It had a little swivel instead of it opening, so it made it feel bigger in that way. But there was enough shelves in there. There was enough closet space for all of our stuff, and I feel like we unpacked pretty quick, and it didn't look like a cluster.
I know it might be minor details for some people, but does this one have USB-C in the stateroom?
Oh yeah, right near your bed. There's so on my side, which was I guess the right side, there was a whole like pad of room lights and that blue. So the Aqua class, or I guess the Aqua, has like a little blue light that you can turn on by your door for safety for like older people who can't see at night. I turned that thing off because I couldn't sleep with it.
Yeah.
But you can hit that, you can turn off all the lights or on the lights in the whole room. And then the USBs are there. It's a USB and a USB-C. So whatever you needed, it was right next to your bed to charge your phone and, have your alarm set.
Let's talk about the food on Norwegian Aqua. Now, for the buffet, you really have, we'll call it two different options. You have the one on 8 there, which is the, I forgot the name of it, the food hall. What is it called? Indulge food hall. But you also have, by the pool, you have the Surfside Cafe and Surfside Grill. So let's go poolside first and talk about the Surfside Cafe up there. How was the buffet, and did it ever feel too crowded during the cruise?
So the Surfside, only because I knew from Prima-plus how crowded it was, we didn't go up there really that much. We maybe on day 3 just went to go venture because we had the Vibe Club and at least we could get seats in there and bring the food in there. But when we went in there, it was packed. And I mean, the food selection was great, fresh. I think the smallness of it made it so that there was a lot of turnover. So like everything was just coming out quick and then it was going quick. So quality wise, great. I liked the selections, but I tend to eat a little bit healthier. So if you're like someone who likes fried chicken, who wants, like Chinese food or something like bad for you, it's a little bit healthier in a way. Like there was grilled fish, there was nice vegetables roasted, like hummus and cheese platters. And I did have some of the pizza. The pizza was really good. It was like thick focaccia, amazing. And they had a really big salad bar over there as well. But definitely a little healthier, really crowded though. So we brought our food and we went into the Vibe Club, and then there was no chaos in there.
And then the Indulge food hall. Unpack that for us.
So Indulge, crazy if you have more than like 4 people. So we had 7. So me and my husband went early and we're looking for a seat. Finally found one after probably like 20 minutes. And that was only because somebody saw my face and was like, "Do you need a seat?" And I'm like, "Yes, for 7 people. Can I take yours?" So they were nice and they gave us their seats. But once we sat down, they were great. They come around, they get your drinks. They have a little bar over there with some specialty drinks that are not in any other bars. And they were really good. Like there was a cucumber watermelon drink. That was amazing. And then you add an extra shot of vodka just because. And then we order on the tablet. We kind of just passed around the tablet. We'd hit send and everything came out within like 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes the most. And then if we wanted more, we could order as much as we want. And that was open pretty late too. So if you got on board and you wanted a snack, but you didn't want to go up to like Surfside, you could go down there, order. It's quick And then the bar's right there, and that whole outside area that's beautiful is also there that you can relax after.
This ship has two, we'll call them main dining rooms. You have the Commodore and Hudson. Did you dine in any of those throughout your cruise?
Yeah, so Hudson's, we actually went there first for lunch, right when we got on board after we did all of the reservation booking spa things. So we went there, beautiful layout. The chandeliers are so pretty. Service was great. We ended up meeting, his name was Joshua. He loved us so much that he kind of followed us around to each specialty, and he gave us great service every time. So he was amazing. Food was great. It was, what did we get? We got some people got burgers, some people got fancy pastas, nice salads, fruit trays. So it's kind of whatever you wanted there. But food was really fresh. Commodore room, we never ended up going to because my family liked the Hudson so much, and, the look and the windows. They wanted to go in there because Commodore room only has portholes and it didn't feel as open. But yeah, the Hudson's was great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the difference between Commodore and Hudson. So Commodore is the one that is more open and airy, or was that Hudson?
That was Hudson's.
Okay.
And then Commodore is a little bit tighter, same menu, everything's the same, but it's just a different feel. And Hudson's is up one level on deck 8. Commodore was on 7, right by the whiskey lounge. So if you really wanted to sit in the whiskey lounge and have a drink and then go in there, you could do that too. But we just like the openness of Hudson's.
And it's a matter of, with them having freestyle dining and freestyle cruising, it's a matter of just going to whichever one you wanted to or whichever one had the least amount wait time.
Yeah, okay. Actually, we never waited at Hudson's, and we had 7 people. So nice. It's pretty big for what it is. And I guess with all the specialty restaurants and Indulge and the local, the ship did spread out pretty well. So for 7 people, we waited maybe 5 minutes, and that was just for the person to come back and grab menus and bring us to the table. So we had a really great experience.
Let's talk about specialty dining. So at your More at Sea package, how many dining credits did that include? And where did you eat during the cruise?
So for a balcony, we had 3 for 7 days. And then because everybody was either platinum or sapphire, we had 2 additional ones. One of those had a bottle of wine that was included as well. So we ended up with 5. So we went to Teppanyaki, Palomar. Me and my husband went to Sukhothai, Cagney's, and Onda. And then my parents and my grandparents and my brother went to Lee Bistro. Talk
to us about the restaurants you dined at. And let's just start with your favorite and then work your way down from there.
I would say our favorite probably was Onda, actually, because we sit down, and this was all of us. We're, talking to the lady. We're like, how do we order, because there was just so many people and we wanted pizza and we wanted the pastas. So she just ended up bringing out all 3 pizzas on the menu and was like, go at it. And then I had yellowtail crudo. That was really fresh and really good with olive oil and some herbs on there, just really fresh. I also had the ricotta stuffed brown butter pasta that was to die for, but I was already getting full because we had the bread service, which is really good too. So I had bread service and pizza, but whatever, you're on vacation.
Yeah.
So I had that. And then we ended with the veal Milanese, and it was so crispy, and it was too big. Me and my mom should have split it like we had said, but then we were like, no, we'll just get our own. Split things if you go on the cruise. Everything's just huge. So that was amazing. We also had bottle service, or the wine bottle service, and they came out and they had their own person for that. And he would come, and if we had a little bit of wine left, he came out and just kept filling it. We were done with wine after. Then next we went to Cagney's, which is also that. I don't know, that was kind of tied for me. Cagney's was great. That was my husband's birthday dinner because we wanted it to be kind of fancy, and we dressed up, and we ended up they brought a cake in for us into our room. So I brought it to Cagney's, and then they came out and sang to us, or sang to him. But that was another great dinner. We had the wedge, French onion soup, the ribeye. We ended up with all the sides because they were like, you're 7 people, just get all the sides. And we were like, sure. So all the sides were great. Everything was fresh. And then I don't think I had bread service because I knew I messed up at Onda and had too much bread. So saved that. Next was teppanyaki. I split with my husband because we wanted seafood and steak. So they have a seafood like combo, scallop, shrimp, squid, and then he got the New York strip. So we split that with noodles and rice and the veggies. And you started with miso soup and a seaweed salad. Great night. That was our first night, actually. So we had lots of drinks too. I had sake, okay. But it was fun and loud, and we were fun and loud because it was the first day anyway. So yeah, that was great. And then Palomar, we got grilled octopus, seafood salad, and I upcharged for tiger shrimp just because I loved it on Prima. And they came out and they, took the shrimp out of its body, like the shell, and cut it up for the shell. Yeah, I was like, what is the word? Out of the shell, and then they brought butter and stuff, and they brought out all the sides again. Sides were great, like carrots and risotto. But my parents, if you ever want a really good bronzino, they encrust a bronzino, full one, in salt and butter, and they roast it for 45 minutes, and they come out and it's table side where they debone the whole fish in front of you. And I did get a taste of that. It's amazing. They put a little olive oil on it. It's all really fresh. So that was really good too. And then the last one was Sukhothai, and that was our date night. And I loved this one too. We really didn't have a bad meal at all. This one, we got one of each of the appetizers because there were 6. So we're like, you can get 3 and then 1 meal and then 3 desserts. So we were like, let's just try all the apps and see if we like them. And every single one was great. The steak salad that came out with basil and fresh herbs, that was really good. And there was a papaya salad, very different. Had peanuts on it too, and some peppers and fruit, just very, very different from any of the other restaurants. What else do we get? The tom yum soup with coconut milk. Amazing. And again, very different combinations. So it's fun to just try things. And if you don't like it, then you could just push it to the side. And then I ended up getting the steak for dinner. That was really good. My husband stole a lot of that though from me. And then for dessert, we did get the fried bananas and the mango sticky rice. Highly recommend. We weren't going to get it, the sticky rice, but our waiter was like, no, you're getting it. So he brought it out, and it was worth it.
Sukhothai replaced Food Republic on this one. Do you miss Food Republic?
I do. I like both. Food Republic, now it's kind of like Indulge with that menu again, where you order it at the table side. But I wish that they would just bring that down to Indulge and have another place where you could get more food. Because I love sushi, and the pho was really good at Food Republic. Those little meat skewers were really good. So I wish that they would just bring that down to where Indulge was. It doesn't have to be everything on the menu, but at least some sushi. Because the only sushi that they had on board was Nama. And my grandparents don't really like sushi, so we never went there. Mm-hmm. But everything was just great. I don't know. I like the Thai food. I like to try it. And then we're going on the getaway in February, and I'm going to go back to Food Republic too.
Any grab and goes, or how was the local?
Oh, the local was great. If you go there at 2 a.m., you'll be really happy like we were. Yeah. We got wings. If you get the chicken salad, it's amazing. My parents went there all the time, and they're like, we just need the chicken salad sandwich and we'll be good. The Reuben was really good. Burgers were great too. My grandparents really liked the hot fudge sundae. I don't know what they put in there, but they had one they would just go. We'd go get drinks. They'd go get a hot fudge sundae. Local, amazing. A little smaller than I thought it was going to be. I thought they'd expand that a little bit more, but they did have outdoor seating. And since we had great weather, I mean, it was packed the whole time. Every hour, local had no seats. So we did have to wait for that, maybe for 20 minutes, but we just went to the other side where there's a bar and then the big TVs, and we would watch whatever was on, football or soccer.
A lot of people lose their mind over a Starbucks being on a cruise ship. Did you go there at all? And was it included in any of the packages you had?
So not included. If you wanted the Starbucks package, it was like $190. And I can't, we divided it up just to see. You had to get 4 drinks a day just to make it even. And I'm like, I just want an espresso shot real quick. We didn't get that package. But we did go. We got some espresso. We got, some cappuccinos sometimes. But I actually liked, so in the main dining room or any of the specialty restaurants, they had their own coffee machines and they were pretty cheap. So we would just get a cappuccino there and espresso and not even go to Starbucks.
How did the entertainment stack up for you?
So because we couldn't make reservations before, we had gotten in line and there actually was no reservations even for the Prince show, Fleetwood Mac, or Elements. So we're like, okay. And I've watched enough YouTube where I know you have to get in line really early. So I told everybody, I'm like, we're going to just get in line. People can go and get drinks and, we'll rotate, we'll walk around. Nobody's going to just sit in line. So we got in line for the Prince show an hour and 25 minutes before. And there was already a line. And I'm like, okay. So we'd go up, go get drinks. We had fun. We made a time out of it. And there was a band actually playing right there. So we just had to stand. So that's fine. So we go in and all of the Haven people, which don't get me wrong, if you're paying that much, you deserve a seat. But all the Haven people had taken all of the seats that were there. So we grabbed 2 seats, at least for my grandparents, and they had the seats because they can't stand too long. I mean, it was a decently long show. Mm-hmm. So we put them there. We're like, okay, we're going to go to the standing floor. Standing floor was not that bad, actually. It wasn't too busy. We could bring our drinks down there. We had a lot of fun. We ended up meeting people that we had cruised with in Italy. We're talking to them. And then the show started. It was a really great show. My husband doesn't even know any Prince shows. Or any songs. I tried to show him a few, like Purple Rain. And he's like, I have no idea who this person is. By the end, he was a fan. He loved it. He was like, it's a vibe. It's great. The dancers were great. And then they started to have a party after. So then we stayed for that a little bit. My grandparents came down then after. They loved the show too. So that was a great show. We never ended up getting to Fleetwood Mac, and we were a little disappointed about that because they only played it twice on his birthday. And there was no time. So that was okay, but we'll have to get them to see it a different day. And then we did see the Rock the Night show, and that was in the Sid Norman's. Sid Norman's is really small, and I know everybody complains about it, but you just get there early. We got seats right by the bar, and for us it was okay, but I could tell other people were kind of mad that they missed the show. Yeah. So I just wish that they would either do all of the shows in the theater and maybe just do people singing in Sid Norman's or, pianist in there. But I don't know how they would fix that other than just making it bigger. I don't know. They have to think about that. I don't mind. And I kind of know that you have to get there early. So
I discovered that on Brilliant Lady too, where, I know the designers only have so much canvas to work with when it comes time to putting all these different venues in, because they want to obviously pack as many as they can. But any show on Brilliant Lady, and I've heard this for all the Virgin ships, you're waiting in line forever just because the venues are, and it just sucks if you're like, let's just say 3/4 through the line and, oh, sorry, we're cutting it off. It's like, what was I here for an hour for, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to wait in line when I'm on vacation. I want to maximize sitting at one of these bars, listening to this person, and then just go over casually and go watch the show. I really miss how, on the Dawn, Spirit, like that class, up in it's kind of like the observation area, but it's really big with the bar and stuff. I wish that they would just do that again and have all the shows up there, because that was big. People could just relax there, and like you never had to fight for a seat up there. So I feel like they should just revert back to that kind of thing.
Circling back to the technical glitch, though, if there wasn't a glitch, would there have been an issue getting into Rumors or Purple Rain?
I don't think so, because I don't think they're taking reservations regardless of the glitch or not.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I didn't realize that.
It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt if you want to go see a show. I don't think they're taking reservations. I think it's whoever decides that they want to go to the show and gets in line first, that they'll get seats.
That makes sense. Okay, how about outside of the theater, like atrium music, maybe headliners or one of the other venues?
They had so much entertainment on the ship that you walked into one area and there was another singer or another pianist or guitarist. So like up by on deck 8, it's the Belvedere now. They had a really good guitarist that he like would play something and record it and then like play something else and like put his own band basically together. He was amazing too. Good vocals, nice, easy, relaxing like music. And then you went to Metropolitan, which was a great bar with those sustainable drinks. The watermelon is my favorite drink. It's really hot and spicy, but it's really good. Nice. They had a big like stage, and they had a pianist named Marty there. I listened to him all the time. Great guy. And he knew like every song. Just amazingly talented. And there was like some Latin some nights. There was another band too that was kind of, just doing today's hits. And then by the whiskey bar, there was another single person too. You name it, wherever there was a venue with a bar, there was an entertainment there. So, and then the pool deck was also crazy. We really didn't go to, actually, because my grandparents were like, it's too loud. And I'm like, okay. It was... That up there was crazy with the glow party, especially. But we ended up just, for the most part, staying in the Vibe Club.
We'll get to the pool in just a moment. The casino on board, you're mentioning it's a little bit different than Prima, but how does it stack up with the smoking and non-smoking? Are there sections? Are there different rooms?
Yeah, so the section for the smoking is completely in this like area that I didn't even realize until day 3 that there was a smoking area. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a smoking area. Not that I don't smoke, but if we wanted to play more games in there, because sometimes I feel like the smoking areas win more than the non-smoking. So, but outside, the rest of casino was completely non-smoking. It kind of like bled into where the Penrose atrium was, but that was kind of cool because the bar for the casino was also the Penrose. So you'd go there, go get some drinks. They did have people walking around too for drinks, which was nice. But it was a really big casino, and we did very good. I mean, I didn't do good. My mom and my grandpa and everybody else actually did good, except for me. I lost.
Now, are you a table player or slots?
I do slots. I try for the table once I get tired of losing from the slots, and then I lose on the table. Right. And I'm out. But my husband plays roulette. He really likes roulette. He didn't do bad. He ended up even. Mm-hmm. But my mom won $6,000.
Nice.
So yeah, I was like, that's awesome. Why can't I do that?
Yeah, roulette's always a fun one to play, especially if like you're down a lot and then you have the balls to put in like the amount that you're down, saying, you know what, we're gonna let fate decide this. I'm down $2,000. I'm gonna put 2 or whatever you can put on black or red, and then it comes in. You're back at zero again.
That's definitely what I did, and I lost. So
yeah, let's talk about the sea days as far as crowds and congestion, and talk to us about the pool, because this class of ship has gotten some pushback, even though Aqua's pool is larger than the Viva and the Prima. How were the sea days, and especially around the pool?
We got done at Hudson's on the first day, and I'm like, I just want to go see the pool. It was not crowded. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. Now, I should have realized not everybody was on board yet. So it's a beautiful pool deck. They have that little, it's like a little water pad around the pool. And that would have been nice if, you just want to stick your feet in there, have a drink, listen to the music that's up there. The bar was really big, and they had really nice seating areas, big couches, and I thought they had a decent amount of lounge chairs as well, and then 2 hot tubs. So we come back because we went into the Vibe Club then to go start the party. And then I was like, my grandparents hadn't seen the pool. I'm like, you want to go back out and look? It was mobbed. And I mean, there's like seats around the pool where the little pool, the water thing is. And I mean, there was no seats at all, no lounge chairs. Even upstairs, if you go to the next deck, there's another like whole thing of just lounge chairs, none to be had. So I'm really happy that we had the Vibe Club because it never felt crowded, and we could get a seat regardless of how many people were in the Vibe Club. And then we had our own 2 hot tubs as well, so we didn't have to share with like 500 people and kids.
The Vibe Club, with the price you paid for the 7 nights, is that something that you buy in advance and it would be cheaper, whereas if you went on board and even tried to buy it, it could be sold out?
So it is so worth it. If you can, like the minute that you book a cruise, get the Vibe Club, because there's no kids there. You have your loungers. The people, the bartenders and the people there. I mean, we saw the same people every day, and, we'd have conversations with them. We kind of make friends, but you cannot book it on the ship. It is sold out. Every cruise that I've been on since COVID, it has been sold out completely. So my recommendation, the minute that you book a cruise, try and get it. And sometimes it's still booked because our next cruise is 160 days away. And it's already sold out.
Does the noise from the Aqua coaster, the screams and the thrills, does that bleed into the vibe?
No, you can see that the Aqua coaster's going, but you can't really hear it. Even with people screaming, I don't know how they did that, but you can't hear anything from the Aqua coaster. The most that you can hear is there's Aqua coaster stadium bar that faces the Vibe. I could hear them, but that was mostly because it was like there was a football game on and they were cheering. It never really got too loud where I was like, oh, that's annoying. Plus, I don't go into the Vibe Club to have no noise. I just don't want kids, and I want my own chairs. And I want to meet people, at the bar when my husband's playing basketball and he ditches me. So
you mentioned that Indulge was kind of busy when you went in there. How were the other restaurants on Sea Days?
All the other restaurants were great. Indulge was the most crowded, and so was Surfside. But you could go to Hudson's anytime for lunch and get a table whenever. So you just have to watch. The times are a little weird sometimes. For breakfast, Hudson's closes at 9:30, which I think is really early. I'm not always one to get up before 9:30, especially if I've had a late night. But then you just go to the local or Surfside, or you just wait until lunch, until Indulge opens or something. Other than the times being a little weird where you have to watch that, Hudson's there was always seats. And then local, there was seats, but sometimes you might have to wait 5 minutes.
Bermuda, what was that like? What did you do? And did you do something every day you were there?
Yeah, so we sailed in and we watched us sail in. There was one rainstorm that we could see. And of course, it came straight for the ship. So we're like, okay, we're just going to wait 30 minutes. After that rain, we never had a single raindrop ever again the whole time that we were in Bermuda. So we dock, and I actually looked up on Marine Life. I was like, I want to see who we're docked with, which was Royal Caribbean's the Voyager. So they were leaving at 3:00, and I thought Tuesday would be the best day to go to Horseshoe Bay because it gets so crowded sometimes. Because then there was a Carnival ship coming after, and they were going to overnight. So then they could stay as long as they wanted and not have to worry about getting back to the ship from Horseshoe. So we went over to Horseshoe Bay and we had the most perfect weather. We got, my grandparents like to sit not in the sand. So we got them some loungers. They relaxed over there. We went snorkeling a little bit. Though there really wasn't any big waves per se, but it was moving, but the water was just gorgeous. And the pink sand, you could really tell it was pink actually, and not, oh, they say it's pink. No, it was actually pink. And then there's that trail that goes in the back that I don't know if you ever listen to Sherry like talk about Bermuda, but she always says, go in the back. So we went in the back and there's like all these rock formations and little like holes, almost like the baths in Tortola. And it was so beautiful. I mean, we saw little crabs and fish, and they started jumping off of the cliffs. And I did not do that because I didn't know how deep it was. But it was such a nice day. And then we went back after that to go get ready for, I booked a sunset white hot party catamaran at night, and everybody was in white. We had to go not that far off, like there's the little docks in King's Wharf, and the boat was right there. Got everybody on there. They were serving champagne and rum swizzles and just shots of rum the whole time, and we got really great pictures of the sunset. Like, I'm probably going to frame one of them because it's all 7 of us, and it's gorgeous with the sail in the back. I really recommend doing a sunset sail. Just gorgeous. And then at night, once the sun set, they turned it into like a whole little party, and they put Pitbull on and all, today's like, EDM stuff. And it turned into like us doing shot skis. And then the captain was so nice. He loved my husband. He's like, hey, why don't you guys meet us? It was called Calico Jack's, that little pirate ship that's off the side. It's a bar. It's kind of like a dive bar. He's like, meet us there, and here's like a 10% thing, and go over there. So I take my little chip, the 10%, and we go over there, and we start having drinks. And I'm like, they're not going to show up. They just wanted us to come, and, they're friends with these people. No, the whole crew shows up, and we had a whole party, and it was so much fun. My husband and my brother and my dad lit up cigars, and we just made it another night out of the catamaran. So we dragged ourselves back after onto the ship, which was only 100 feet. Like it really is that close. Highly recommend that bar. Very cute. And then you could jump off of it during the day. They have like a plank. Really fun. And then the second day, the boys went golfing. This was my husband's birthday. And I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? He's like, I want to golf. So we sent them to the Belmont. And they did really good. And it wasn't that far. It's all taxi rides are $7 by law for some reason. Like, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but makes it very convenient for everybody. So $7 per person per way, for wherever you want to go. So they took the taxi over there. Me and my mom and my grandma had a catamaran ride called Restless Natives. And we went to, it was called King's Cove. It's where like they found a bunch of medallions and like stuff from like British, like old jewelry. I guess like, I don't know if something dumped there or a ship crashed there. It was beautiful. The water, it was up to your waist. You just kind of go out, and then they give you the rum swizzles if you're not snorkeling. I snorkeled for probably 2 hours and got burnt completely. But the snorkeling was great. Big fish. They had cookies on board if you wanted. They had like a little oven. It was so cute. We stayed there for probably 4 hours and just relaxed, had a great time. They had noodles, paddle boards, whatever you wanted. And then the crew is just great on there too. Water was perfect going back. I would highly recommend that excursion too. That was through Norwegian. And then the last day, I rented a boat called Bermuda. That was probably the highlight of Bermuda as well. You got on the boat, which was also right off of the dock. He starts you off with rum, whatever you want. And then we went right to a place where you cliff jump. And there's like high, medium, and the lower one. I did the lower one and the medium one. Everybody else did the high one. I was like, I'm not doing this. But I got some really good footage with the GoPro. So they like somehow made a staircase, and then you go up there, jump off. It's very deep, so you felt safe. And our captain was like, I assure you, you're not going to hit the bottom. So then we did that. We went to a shipwreck from like 1891, and it's still there. And there was a bunch of fish. We snorkeled around that area, but not actually the ship, because you can't, because it's like it's steel and it just isn't safe. And then we went to a beach after, and we just had a really nice day. That was a great excursion. And I booked that separate from Norwegian. So if you ever look up Bermuda charters, that's the one that I went for. And it was really great.
Man, you guys left no stone unturned in Bermuda. That's awesome.
Oh, no. We were on the ship, so it was going to leave, or all aboard was 2:30. We got on the boat at 2:20 because then we went back to that pirate ship, and me and my brother jumped off the plank because you couldn't do it at night. We jumped off because we were already in our bathing suits, had one drink there, and went back on the ship then.
When you were there and the other ships that were in port with you, I don't want to say mess the vibe up, but did it ever feel too crowded?
No. So the ship that was with us was Poop Cruise. Okay. So they docked, and they're such a small ship too. And they're, on Aqua, there's not like 5,000 people on. So it never really made it feel like the ship or the island was like overdone. And we had already gone to Horseshoe. So I can't say if Horseshoe was like crazy busy. Our first day at Horseshoe, when Voyager was leaving, not busy at all. So I highly recommend just look at what ships are in port, and if that ship is leaving, they're probably not going to Horseshoe because they have to be back on the boat by 2:30. So it would be a waste. But the Carnival ship stayed over then, so I figured it would probably be busy at Horseshoe. But other than that, we never felt like crowded at all.
It just seems crazy going to Bermuda just for a few hours to do one of those cruises,
I know. Yeah. I can't believe some people just go there and then like leave. Like you really do need, like sometimes I wish that you could actually just stay in St. Thomas for 3 days or like you go to St. Martin for 3 days and then you go to one other island for 3 days and then that's it. Like, because you really do get to feel the culture and you get to just explore and do whatever. And that, like, being out at night, it's, sometimes that's where it's actually at, like the nightlife on an island. So I love cruising, but sometimes I'm like, oh, all-inclusives are great too because you get to go out at night. I don't know. I like both. I'm not really picky.
So you make your way back to Manhattan. How was your sea days on the way back?
Sea days were great. Our first sea day was like, I don't want to say it. Well, that was the day that we saw you, and it was a little cloudy, but it was still like nice out. On the way back, it was sunny. We were kind of running away from the storm that's out there now, but it was a really nice last day. We went on the Aqua coaster multiple times. I felt like the Aqua coaster was never crowded for our sailing. I don't know if it was just because there wasn't really any kids on there, and like other people just didn't want to put their bathing suit on, but we went on there like 3 times, like in one stretch at one point. So nice. It was really nice. We played beer pong up at that stadium. They also had like shuffleboard and stuff up there too, but the vibe was vibing. We had shot o'clocks like multiple times. Awesome. And we just had a really nice night. And then we ended up at Hudson's and the little club at night. And then we went to bed and woke up really early the next day.
You make your way back to Manhattan. How was the debark process?
Debark was really easy. I made our transport to get us there or get to there around 9. And he actually showed up early, which was actually good because they were kind of like pushing people out. They're like, get out of here. I think we got off at like 8:45 and the transport was there, and you just tell them to come down where the buses are. They pick you up and you're off on your way. And we were back at my grandparents by like 9:30, 9:45. Any
first-time tips to offer someone sailing Norwegian Aqua?
Definitely don't be discouraged about like, oh, there's a lot of people in a lot of spots, and go to the shows early. Go to the shows early, yes. Go get a drink and relax, and you're on vacation. If they do open up the entertainment reservations, do that whenever you can. It's usually 120 days before. And then also make your reservations for dining, because I did talk to some people that they never actually got to use their dining credit because there was nothing open. So it was kind of a shame. I don't know if you can walk up and see if they have an opening, but, they may not. So do that early as well. And don't be afraid to just stay out in Bermuda all night long if you want to. Don't just go back on the ship because, I paid for the food or whatever. Go have fun. Go on that the little pirate ship and meet people, and definitely do the sunset cruise, because that was probably one of my favorite parts of the cruise.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned the hard way after going to Bermuda a couple of times. I've always thought there was like some kind of curfew where you had to be back on the ship even if we did overnight there. And it turns out there's not. If some people actually got off and stayed at the Regis or the Ritz or one of those fancy hotels in Bermuda for a day when we were there for the night.
Yeah, some people did. They went to the Regis. It's in St. George, and it's kind of, it takes a little bit to get there. So they made it a whole day. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would not stay there because you have the cruise ship right there. I don't know. I would just go back late at night.
For the price you paid, was the value there?
Oh, yeah. So what I've learned right now is because of, the cruising's booming, the earlier you book, the better. So I booked this when they literally announced the Aqua. I booked it that day, and pretty sure I paid $1,000 less than my mom and dad, who they did not book it right away. So the earlier, the better. And even they had booked it pretty early, and there was people that had paid even more than they did. Wow. And then also, I always use a Har Travel. If you text or email them 14 days before, because that's when the cutoff day is for getting any credit back. I emailed them. They got me $370 worth of cruise credit for the next cruise because the price went down. Wow. So that's something to keep up with. Mark it on your calendar. This is 14 days before. Email whoever or, contact Norwegian and say, I'd like to do a price match. Mm-hmm. And you'll get cruise credit. It's not going back to your card, but if you're going on another cruise, it makes the next cruise cheaper.
Looking back, what was the biggest highlight of this cruise?
I would say either the catamaran, the night sunset was just amazing. Very relaxing. And then it kind of turned into a party, and everybody was just so nice on that boat. That was through Norwegian as well. It's called the White Hot Catamaran Party. That was beautiful. I don't know, just being with my whole family, all 7 of us together, and just having a great time, and, at the bar, laughing about whatever. It was a really nice family experience. So go with your family. Did
you like the changes they made? They were slight, but the ship is 10% larger. They did open up some areas and move some venues around, like Cagney's was one of them too. Did you find that the changes were well received?
Yeah, I definitely liked so they put Cagney's kind of right by the Metropolitan bar. Mm-hmm. So it was nice that it wasn't too tucked away. The Metropolitan bar is great. That's their sustainable bar where they take, for instance, watermelon rinds from, I actually don't know where they take them from, probably the kitchen, I would hope. And then they send them out and make some liquor and use everything so that it's not wasteful. Mm-hmm. And then they bottle that up and make drinks out of it. We had such a great time at that bar. And then we would go, we went right from there to Cagney's. And it was just a nice flow to, you had somewhere to relax and then go into Cagney's and just relax there. The whole cruise is very just calm and just a nice, relaxing vacation. There was no craziness about it. So I did like that. I did feel like it was 10% bigger too, But I still, again, with the venues like Sid Norman's, I just wish that it was like the Dawn or the Spirit with that big observation deck where they just put all of the bigger shows up there, because that definitely has more seating, or just get different chairs. I don't know if we were looking. The chairs that they have in there are very big. So if they just had smaller ones and maybe like in a row, it would be easier for people to, have seats then and get in and out. But the ones that they have are like clunky and big. So I don't know if that would help. Again, I don't mind. I get there early and we have a great time no matter what. All good vibes.
What do they call that lounge on the older ships? Spinnaker Lounge?
Yeah, that's it. Spinnaker Lounge. That's the one that I love, that one, where they have bingo up there, and then at night they have shows, and then it turns into the club, and like it's a one for all thing, but it works. So I don't know if they just need to go back to that or get different furniture, or maybe people should just stop complaining and have fun.
We've been talking with Madison about her 7-night Bermuda cruise out of Manhattan on board Norwegian Aqua. Madison, always good talking to you. Thanks so much for the review.
Thank you, Doug. I really appreciate it.
Just back from a cruise? Let's talk about it. Email Doug at cruiseradio.net.
A big question we get at Cruise Radio is, how do I know if I need trip insurance? Simple answer. If you're getting on a plane, taking a road trip, or getting on a cruise ship, you need to have travel insurance. Hey, it's Doug Parker from my friends at tripinsurance.com. Not only does tripinsurance.com protect your vacation investment, but it also gives you peace of mind in case anything were to go wrong on your trip. How do they do it? They offer 3 different types of trip insurance policies. Good, better, and best. One policy for every vacation budget. But it doesn't just stop there. They're up to 40% lower when you shop around on other comparison sites. Plus, tripinsurance.com offers 24-hour customer support before, during, and after your trip, online claims assistance, and travel alerts to let you know what's going on at your destination. But find out for yourself. Check out tripinsurance.com.
All right, Dougie, let's see what we got for you, buddy. Cruise Radio is produced at the tripinsurance.com studios in Jacksonville, Florida. Get cruise news, ship reviews, and money-saving tips every Thursday on Cruise Radio. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show. If you want to help spread the word, give Cruise Radio a 5-star review. Find Cruise Radio where you listen to your favorite podcast, or online at cruiseradio.net. I'm your announcer,